Today we're going to be going over a handful of fragrances with some amazing head-turning wow factor. And that's something that not every men's fragrance possesses. You know, there are a lot of things that can just go under the radar. You smell it, you get a whiff of it, it smells nice, but it's nothing that really makes you think, it's nothing that really makes you intrigued. And when it comes to really getting noticed and getting some feedback, you want to try to strive for adding some things to your collection that do just that. And when it comes to trying to get noticed and get some feedback, you want to strive to add some things to your collection that do provide people with that kind of head-turning and mind-boggling, interesting smell. But there's also a limit, there is a line. You don't want to go too far in that direction where what you're wearing smells awful. So you really want to make sure you're right on the line of smelling different and unique, but still mass-pleasing and interesting. So we'll go through all of these today. I'll link them all down below to discounters so you can check them out if you want for great prices. Let's get things kicked off with a brand new fragrance from KILIAN Paris. This one is Smoking Hot. I'm always excited to see a new release from the brand. They got tobacco, apple, cinnamon, vanilla, and smoke in here. Very sweet and definitely up to date with today's standards in terms of the level of sweetness that this one provides. And I guess it's, you know, true that a lot of the releases in the past have been very sweet as well. That came out years ago, but this is another one that, you know, kind of goes down that road. Heavy sweetness here. And wow, the opening is amazing. That apple in here, that cinnamon kind of creaminess, that smokiness. If I had to choose one season that this one smells like, it would be right now, fall, or at least officially coming up soon, or maybe already is when you're watching the video, I don't know. But the season of fall, autumn, that's what this smells like to me. You really get it off the opening, not so much the dry down, but the opening, especially just the way the apple comes to life, it smells beautiful. And so I think this is yet another winner from KILIAN. They do it really well, the gourmands and the sweet scents and the boozy scents and everything like that. A lot of them are very realistic in terms of what they're trying to accomplish. And this is yet another one that does a great job. And it still does maintain that mass appeal, and they're pretty good about that too. A lot of their releases are big head turners in a positive way, this one included. Definitely check this one out. Retail, I think, is like $2.90 or so. It's what I ended up picking it up for. It's not on discounters yet, but I'll always buy one of these new releases at full retail. I love the brand. I love what they do, and this is a great new addition. Next up, we have ZEGNA FORTE. This one's got tobacco, honey, tonka bean, and amber in here. Tobacco and honey, that is a combination that has been done a million times, and guess what? It never fails, and I also never get tired of it. So I don't mean that as a dig or a knock at the scent. In fact, I'm happy to see it, and they're still coming out to this day. The new Le Male Elixir, utilizing that combo, it's great. Works very well. But with this one, I find that it's going to be a bit fresher than you might think. So the honey in here is not to the point where it's like super syrupy and creamy. The tobacco is not too smoky, rather it's a little bit more of like an aromatic tobacco leaf is kind of how I would look at it. So just a different take on that DNA. The tonka bean is giving it a little bit of that dusty nature and then a little bit of a sweet amber, but again, there's some nice balance with this one. So ultimately that gives you something that is wearable. It's not something that is going to be very specific in terms of when you can wear it. So anytime you're feeling like spraying this one on, you go for it and you're going to be smelling great. And, you know, it has just enough of that unique little twist that it gives it that head-turning kind of wow factor smell and feel about this one. On discounters, I think it's around $57 for 100 milliliters, somewhere around in there, 57, 58. Great price for a great scent and one that you don't really hear about every day. Next up, we have Carolina Herrera Platinum Leather. So besides leather, it also has musk and patchouli. And I think there was a few fresher, like orange blossom or maybe some light florals or something in there as well, which you pick up on a little bit, but it's a lot of leather and musk. The leather here is not like Tuscan leather or anything like that. It's a more like fresher or lighter leather, kind of like an ombre leather style. It doesn't smell like ombre leather, but the type of leather that's being used is a lot more palatable. It's easier to like amongst a lot of people. Because Tuscan leather, it's earthy, it's rugged, it's strong, right? It is a very realistic and not for the faint of heart leather scent. This one is a lot more forgiving, and people are just going to generally gravitate towards this one a lot more. But again, it's still on that line. There's still just enough about this one that is different to make it stand out, but it is also similar enough to smell good to people. And so it's all about that balance. It's a big head turner. It's a great performer, great quality for the price. I'm telling you guys, this line here, they have some amazing scents. Okay, I'm really excited about this next one here. It is Hugo Boss Bottled Elixir. Yes, it's another Elixir. You know, the trend is continuing. One thing that I like a lot, cosmetically, is the little boss on the top of the cap. It's a very small detail, but besides this little detail, I don't think they have changed these Boss bottles for years. Yeah, obviously the color of the bottle changes, and we'll get a new cap every now and then, or I'm sorry, I don't even know what I was saying. Well, the bottle changes color every now and then, and that's it pretty much, aside from the name and the scent being different. And now, for the first time, we get a new cap. I guess the color of the cap changes too, is what I was trying to say. The atomizers have always been the same. Everything's been the same, but a nice little detail. That was a long-winded way of saying I like the new cap. Okay, so that's not what I'm excited about, though. I'm excited about the scent. This smells really good. I was kind of thinking it wasn't going to be all that exciting just because they've had some hits in terms of their new releases, but they've also had some lackluster ones. I'm here to tell you this one is probably one of the best yet. I'll take it over, I would probably take it over the Parfum. There's a lot that I would probably shelve and keep this one. The Intense is tough because I love it, but it's discontinued. Boss Bottled Oud is amazing. This one might edge that one out. It just depends. If I'm in the mood for Oud, this wouldn't do it. But this is really, really good and exciting. So we've got patchouli, cedarwood, labdanum, and cardamom. The cedar is amazing in here. And the patchouli, that combination is breathtaking. The cardamom warm spice really kicks it off and makes it a little bit more seductive. The labdanum is kind of giving it some of that sweet depth. Mesmerizing. There really is some substance behind this. It very much kind of gives off a more premium feel from a line that a lot of times goes the safer and more generic route, in my opinion. I would say this is probably one of their bravest works yet. I'm here for it. This is a great release. I can't wait for the price to continue to drop and be in stock consistently on discounters. It did pop up. I did send out an email about it in terms of being in stock on discounters below retail. By the time you're watching this, I don't know if it still will be or not, but if you get on my mailing list and texting list, you'll be the first to know about that next time. But this is definitely worth adding to your collection. If you've been skeptical about the new elixirs and the new releases, which I understand, you might really, really like this one. Try it if you can. Get your nose on it somehow. Sample, walk into a store and try it. This is going to be in heavy rotation for me in fall and winter time. Next up, FOMO, Gary's Den. So this is a Dior Homme Parfum Cologne. And this is what I believe is the first DHP clone. There at this point have been a few DHI, Dior Homme Intense clones, but never DHP, at least nothing that gets this close. It's great. So it does have that rose, leather, iris, oud combination. They got it down incredibly close. It is fantastic. Great stuff. I believe this ended up being $37 or so. Let me double check the concentration here. It's a Le Parfum. I can't really see. Can't remember. I'll let you know. Le Parfum. I think it might be a true Parfum. It's strong. The performance has been great on it. I've done a full review on it already. The quality is impeccable for a $37 scent. This is great. I love Fragrance By. I love what they do. They've become one of my favorite discounters. They did not pay me to say that or endorse this. I bought all the new FOMO releases on my own, and they have been great. So hats off to them. A DHP alternative for an affordable price that's relatively easy to get. That is a huge bonus. Great performance, beautiful head turner. Let's jump over to PDM Carlisle. You guys know I love this stuff. It's all about that vanilla, patchouli, nutmeg, tonka bean. Smooth, silky, and delectable. Red tobacco similarities, but this one is the more refined and more polished version. Red tobacco is overbearing for some and might be a bit too much. Red tobacco might actually fall on that, depending on it, sometimes on the line of getting a bit too far in terms of that line we were talking about establishing earlier in the video. A lot of times it would probably work great, but I think there will be some times, certain people, certain environments where it's a bit too much. I think this one's going to play it a lot safer while still being a fantastic wearing experience, more of a niche experience, high quality, premium scent, great performance. I love this stuff. Now, if you want niche, but you don't want to spend niche price, you could go for Tonka Cola by MANCERA. You know, red tobacco might be too much, but Tonka Cola isn't. This is a very wearable, fizzy cola sweet scent. And what do I mean by not being niche price? It is $110 or so when it pops up on discounters. That's 120 ml, bigger bottle than this, full presentation. Just a touch over $100. We're talking the price point of Dior, Chanel, a lot of Armani's, a lot of YSL's, and Gucci's, and so on. But this is niche. That is a great price. I always like to put that into perspective. And also, you're getting 20 extra milliliters for the 120. A lot of those others I was mentioning there come in standard 100s. Some even smaller bottles than that, like 90. Like Gucci Guilty and all of those, they come in 90 ml. So great price, great performance out of this one. It's something unique. You are not going to be smelling this hardly ever. And it doesn't smell similar enough to anything else where it could be mistaken for something else. And so that is amazing. It is a huge head turner. I think this can be a great secret weapon, something very powerful to wear if you want to pull some amazing compliments and turn some heads in the upcoming cooler months. If we go ahead and flash back to summer, or for some of you guys down under spring for you right now, you could go for something like Light Blue Forever. It's all about the grapefruit, the violet leaf, you know, the musk, the ozonic notes, if I didn't say that already, all of that stuff. But first and foremost, the grapefruit. It is the star of the show. It is so strong, so punchy, so sour, so realistic. Because of that, this one got some pushback. It moved the needle. So even this one is probably about on the line. I probably wouldn't go much further in the potent, realistic citrus direction if you're trying to smell great to people around you. This is the limit. And I think Dolce & Gabbana knows that. They're a designer brand with $ eyes, and the light blue line, and especially the O Intense and things, have been great earners for them. So they know not to push it too far. I think they struck a great balance here. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, they're motivated by what works in the real world. And I think this one has the potential to as well. If you rock it with confidence and no shame, people are going to love this stuff. It's refreshing, it's interesting, it's unique, it's fun and energetic and playful. It is a great scent to wear in the dead of summer and even spring as well. Love Light Blue Forever and Italian Love. Prada L'Homme Intense is my favorite flanker. I love the original Prada L'Homme, but I like this one better. It's got the iris, but with some leather and tonka bean. It's sweeter, it's heavier, it's richer, it's more interesting. That's what it is at the end of the day for me. Prada L'Homme is great. It's something that people love the smell of. But it's just soapy, it's clean, it's citrusy, it's light and musky. It's not going to have the same type of charm as this, where you get into some heavier, richer, stronger, full-bodied nuances that really set this one apart. It resonates through the air beautifully. The scent trail that this one leaves smells amazing. It definitely excels in that scent trail being suspended in the air. It smells much better that way. And this one in particular just really has what it takes to turn heads and get people talking. This next one here is very unique. Another one that is going to be for those of you who just want something fun and interesting and different. From Brioni, it's the new Eau de Parfum Essentiel. This one's got bergamot, tomato, cardamom, and patchouli. Interesting, for sure. The tomato sounds weird, but it's kind of like a green leafy tomato accord. The patchouli in here smells amazing. The musk, oh man, it's interesting. This one stands out probably the most within the Brioni line, so it doesn't smell too much like the EDP or the Eau de Parfum Intense. It really kind of does its own thing here. It's green with an aromatic, woody, musky undertone, something new, something fun, something fresh and exciting. And even though I said all that, it's not to the level where it's going to be off-putting and weird and strange. So they struck a nice balance with this one. And we'll finish this video with Givenchy Gentleman Eau de Parfum Reserve Privé. It's all about the whiskey, the iris, and the chestnut in here. You guys have heard me talk about this one enough, and you know, we have not even scratched the surface probably, because winter's coming up. This is going to be a great winter scent, so you're going to hear about it more. That's because I love it and I wear it, and I think this is their best work. It really is amazing. They kept the Eau de Parfum DNA, tossed in even more of a gourmand nature, and a splash of whiskey on top. It is perfect. And this is the type of thing that just has that nice head-turning and fun, playful, but also down-to-business personality about it that just works great in whatever situation you throw it in. Alrighty guys, that's going to do it for me. Some fragrances with amazing wow factor. If you want to turn heads in the cooler weather, and for some of these in the warmer weather, these are it. I'll link them down below. That's going to do it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.